I love the rewards of performing and the growth you see in the people that you touch and teach. And I'm not just saying that because that's real. Until fourth, pull back. Then that gives you the drive to to continue to do what you're doing, like you said. And I believe when you do stuff like that, it comes back to you. I could pop. That's how I got into DCYE. I went to DCYE, and they was like, "Show what you can do," and I'm doing a wave and my little break dance move, and then the lady was like, "Well, can you sing?" I was like, "I can sing a little bit," but my thing was the little pop, and I had that. That was a little electric boogaloo girl, high tops, everything, and she was I sang Ebony and Ivory, and ended up getting a scholarship and being in the group. Yeah, in the school. Yeah. I feel nervous, like I did.
I feel like you did something, though.
I mean, that's my mission statement. I know it's kind of vague, but basically merging. I was a really urban girl that was blessed enough to get introduced to some classical, traditional ballet and modern dance techniques. It's a totally different world. So I have these two worlds in me, and basically I'm trying to, bring it so it meets. So that's the uniqueness of my company. I try to take really urban, new, like hip-hop movements and put them to a classical song, So kids get introduced to a little bit more than what they normally are exposed to.
So the enrollment is low, I think, because we don't have any special programs yet. Mm-hmm. And I just got here 4 weeks ago, but I'm looking to infuse the arts into the program, and I know that the students would love to dance. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's the name of the company.
If you just want the program to consist of dance, can it be more than one dance form?
Indeed.
Or just?
Indeed.
So me along with like 2 other instructors that can do something different, maybe like a ballet teacher and maybe African dance and hip hop or something like that. And I believe you got to be a strong dancer in all the forms, to make it in this career, because you never know with the next gig. You may have a hip-hop gig and you may have a ballet gig, then you may go to a musical theater gig where that's where all the money is anyway, as a dancer. This is my class.
That's your class.
This is my class up on the wall. See if you can point me out. My locker was somewhere along this wall. They weren't purple. Well, I'm from Southeast, so just if we take a ride to Southeast, you'll see how that'll influence anybody to get the heck up on out of there. Period. But in my neighborhood, which at that time was really drug infested and so on and so forth, I had people who actually saw me staying after school at the rec centers and stuff and doing pom-pom and cheerleading and making up dances and stuff. I had them type of people push me and let me know that you have something that's different from here. So you definitely can't do that from here and you gotta go. And they kind of pushed me to the forefront, out of the neighborhood. So that influenced me. But the best influence I think it's given me is just to keep it real, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, after you step off stage, and after I used to come from this high school, which is in a lovely neighborhood, as you see, I was right on the 30 bus, headed back to the other side of town, where it was a totally different story. So I was faced with reality every day. So it wasn't like it was something that, I could remove myself with. And that whole reality on the south side of town is what kept me grounded, I believe, and is what kept me, real as an individual and staying real to myself, no matter what I did outside of this. It's still the urgency to live and survive, a different life other than the one that you've known if it wasn't so positive. Raqis, it was his idea to do it as if they were performing, like to face them.
Kind of like a dance battle, kind of like a dance
battle.
Yeah,
but instead of them facing each other, they facing out to the audience, yeah.
One of the interesting concepts, too, was that the Romeo and Juliet beat at the ball, it was a record release party.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
A lot of those ideas we kind of shot back and forth, because Tuluv's also in the industry, so you can talk about the things that would make it real for them.
We were true to the Shakespeare story and still put it in modern time.
And true to modern time.
Once you do one thing successful, that doesn't make you successful, you know what I mean? So I guess it takes a multitude of successful events and jobs and things that you will do before, for myself, before I'll feel gratified and before I feel like I've actually become successful. It does not happen overnight. I think you have to put 10 years in a hole, as we said, before before you can, get recognized for the things that you do naturally. And it's really not about, getting recognized, but it helps. And when you get recognized, that puts you in a position where people are more apt to listen to you and to take advice from you, and you can be more influential. So if I feel like if I'm a positive role model and if I'm a positive influence, they will acknowledge that more the more successful I am. My company's still a pickup company, which that means that, I don't have a contract, I don't contractually obligate them unless it's for, a small particular time. It's not like a 14-week contract. A 14-week contract usually says that you have a company, because you can employ them and pay them for 14 weeks. That's the length of a production. Like if you put together 4 weeks of rehearsals and maybe like in 10 weeks of touring, that's usually the typical time range to have to say you have a legitimate company. Now what I have is a pickup company where anytime we get a gig, I have a catalog of people who I call up for a specific and particular gig, and we work on that for however long it takes, and then we do the actual performance. Hopes and plans is to develop a black dance company out of the metropolitan area, that will perform and have an intensive contract. All right, just try it. Only way to do it is to do it. Yep. Really, I will say the best part of it is the creative part, the creative process. Because once you actually sit down and you are relaxed enough and you've removed yourself of all the logistics and the tedious problems that you run into with trying to run a company, once you are relaxed enough to be creative and to actually put whatever you've come up with on individuals and see it come to life, that's the most rewarding thing. To employ some black kids from the DC metropolitan area that don't necessarily want to move to New York or LA and dance. I'm trying to create an art society here that they would be proud of and something that they want to stay around for.